Okay, so we left off at computer virus on page 11. We explained that this was on the exam, and where we left off was the virus can reformat a computer's hard drive or cause problems to run improperly. Viruses typically spread from computer to computer when humans take an action, such as sending an email, attachment, or copying an infected file. Worms drive by downloads Trojan horse, which is on the exams. Most recent attacks have come from worms, which are independent computer programs that copy themselves from one computer to other computers over a network. Okay. Unlike viruses, worms can operate on their own without attaching to other computer program files and rely less on human behavior in order to spread from computer to computer. So no human interactions. This explains why computer worms spread so much more rapidly than computer viruses. Worms destroy data and programs as well as disrupt or even halt the operation of computer networks. Worms and viruses are often spread over the internet from files of downloaded software, from files attached to email transmissions, or from compromised email messages, online advertisements, or IMs, instant messages. Viruses have also invaded computerized IS from infected disks or infected machines. Especially prevalent today are drive-by downloads. This is on the exam, consisting of malware that comes with the downloaded file that a user intentionally or unintentionally requests. Hackers could do to a smartphone just about anything they can do to an internet device. Request malicious files without user intervention, delete files, transmit files, install programs running in the background to monitor user actions, and potentially convert smartphones into robot in a botnet to send email and text messages to anyone. With smartphones turned to so PCs and smartphones increasingly used as payment devices, they are becoming a major avenue for malware. Okay. According to McAfee and other IT security experts, mobile devices now pose as the greatest security risk, outpacing those from large computers. Android, which is the world's leading operating system, not Windows, is the platform targeted by most hackers. Okay, so they can also get viruses. They pose serious threats to computing enterprise. Blogs, wikis, and social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, have emerged as new conduits for malware or spyware. These applications allow users to post software code as part of a permissible content, and such code can be launched automatically as soon as a web page is viewed. And spring 2014, some programs perpetuating to be Instagram image viewers or image and video downloaders to transfer Instagram photos to desktop PCs were bundled with malware. Malware caused internet slowdown, unwanted redirection to other sites, and sometimes installation of other programs without users' consent. Okay, that's an issue. China Security reported that in 2013 there was 30 million new malware strains in circulation, 82,000 a day, and 20% of all malware existed was created in 1 year alone. Okay, so the table 8.1 describes those characteristics. And over the 70% of infectious panda found were Trojan horses. A Trojan horse is a software program that is on the exam and appears to be benign, but then does something other than expected. The Trojan horse is not itself a virus because it does not replicate, but is often a way for viruses or other malicious code to be introduced to the computer system. The term Trojan horse is based on the hooded wooden horse Greeks used to play Trojans in opening the gates and fortify a city during the Trojan War. And then Greeks rid themselves. Yep, so Trojan horse analogy. Okay, SQL injection attacks and ransomware, which is on the exam. SQL injection attacks have become a major malware threat. SQL injection attacks take advantage of vulnerabilities in poorly coded web application software to introduce malicious program code into a company's systems and networks. These vulnerabilities occur when a web application fails to properly validate or filter data entered by a user or web page, which might occur when ordering something online. An attacker uses this input validation error to send a rogue SQL query to the underlying database to access database, plant malicious code, or access other systems on the network. Large web applications have hundreds of places for inputting user data, each of which creates an opportunity for a SQL injection attack. Malware known as ransomware, which is on the exam, is proliferating on both desktop and mobile devices. Ransomware tries to extort money from users by taking control of computers or displaying annoying pop-up messages. An example is Crypto Locker. It affects computer viruses and force users to pay hundreds of dollars to gain access. You can get it from downloading an affected attachment, clicking a link inside the email, or visiting wrong websites. Spyware, keyloggers, hackers, cyber vandalism, spoofing, sniffer are all on the exam. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here. See where we can get started. Some types of spyware also act as malicious software. These small programs install themselves repeatedly on computers to monitor user web surfing activity and serve up advertising. Thousands of forms of spyware has been documented. Many users find spyware annoying, and some critics worry about the infringement on users' privacy. Some forms of spyware are essentially nefarious. Keyloggers, which is on the exam, record every keystroke made on computers to steal serial numbers for software, to launch internet attacks to gain access to email accounts, to obtain passwords to protected systems, or pick up personal information such as credit card or bank account numbers. The Zeus Trojan described earlier uses keylogging. Other spyware programs reset web browser home pages, redirect search requests, or slow performance by taking too much memory. Okay, so hacker, which is on the exam, is the individual who attempts to gain unauthorized access to a computer system within the hacking community. The term cracker is typically used to denote a hacker with a criminal intent, although in the public press, hackers and crackers are the same thing. Hackers and crackers gain unauthorized access by finding weaknesses in the security protections employed by websites and computer systems, and they often take advantage of various features of the internet that make it open system and easy to use. Hacker activities have broadened beyond mere system intrusions to include theft of goods and information, as well as system damage and cyber vandalism, which is on the exam. Cyber vandalism, which is the intention, disruption, defacement, or even destruction of a website or corporate information systems. For example, a group of pro-Syrian regime hackers called the Syrian Electronic Army attacked Skype's Twitter account, blog, and Facebook page in January 2014. They published a fake message which read, "Do not use Microsoft emails. They are monitoring your accounts and selling data to the government." Okay. Spoofing and sniffing is on the exam. Hackers attempting to hide their true identities often spoof or misrepresent themselves by using fake email addresses or masquerading as someone else. So that is spoofing. It involves redirecting a web link to an address different from the intended one, with the site masquerading as the intended destination. For example, if hackers redirect customers to a fake website that look almost exactly like the true site, they can collect and process order to effectively steal business as well as sensitive customer information from the true site. Okay. A sniffer is a type of eavesdropper program that monitors information traveling all over the network. When used legitimately, sniffers can help identify potential network trouble, spots, or criminal activity on networks, but when used for criminal purposes, they can be damaging and very difficult to detect. Sniffers enable hackers to steal proprietary information from anywhere on a network, including email, common files, and confidential reports. DOS, DDoS, botnet, computer crime, and identity theft are all on the exam. Identity theft. In a denial of service or DOS attack, hackers flood a network server or web server with many thousands of false communications or requests for services to crash the network. The network receives so many queries that it cannot keep up with them and is thus unavailable to service legitimate requests. So that was denial of service, which is on the attack, or on the exam, denial of service attack. Now, a distributed denial of service (DDoS) attack uses numerous computers to inundate and overwhelm the network from numerous launch points. Although DOS attacks do not destroy information or access restricted areas of a computer's IS, they often cause a website to shut down, making it impossible for legitimate users to access the site. For example, blogging service Typepad was subject to a series of DDoS attacks in April 2014, which lasted 5 days. During the time period, the site was flooded with so much illicit traffic that it was knocked offline, preventing Typepad users from accessing their their blogs and applications. For busy e-commerce, these attacks are costly. While the site is shut down, customers cannot make purchases, especially vulnerable are small and mid-sized businesses. They are less protected than large corporations. Perpetrators of DDoS, so this is denial, not denial. This DDoS is distributed denial of service attack, which is on the exam, often uses thousands of zombie PCs infected with malicious software without their owner's knowledge and organized into a botnet. A botnet is on the exam. Hackers create these botnets by infecting other people's computers with bot software. Bot malware opens a backdoor through which an attacker can give instructions. These infected computers with bot malware um, these become a slave or zombie serving a master computer belonging to someone else. Once hackers infect enough computers, they can use the mass resources of the botnet to launch the DDoS attacks, which distributed denial of service attacks, phishing campaigns, or unsolicited spam or email. 90% of the world's spam and 80% of the world's malware are delivered via botnets. For example, the Grum botnet, once the world's largest or third largest botnet, was reportedly responsible for 18% of the worldwide spam traffic, and this was back in 2012 when it was shut down. It was essentially generating 18 billion spam messages at one point per day, and it infected 500,000 to 800,000 computers. All right, computer crime. Most hacker activities or criminal offenses and vulnerabilities of the systems we have just described make them targets for other types of computer crimes as well. Computer crime is defined by the U.S. Department of Justice as violations of criminal law that involve knowledge of computer technology for their perpetration, investigation, or prosecution. No one knows the magnitude of computer crime problems, how many systems are evaded, how many people engage in the practice, or total economic damage. About 11 million a year. Let's go. Most economically damaging kinds of computer crime are denial of service attacks, activities of malicious insiders, and web-based attacks. Identity theft, which is on the exam. With the growth of internet and of electronic commerce, identity theft has become especially troubling, and it is a crime in which an imposter obtains key pieces of PI, which is personal information, social security, identification numbers, driver license, credit card numbers, and impersonates someone else. The information may be used to obtain credit, merchandise, or services in the name of the victim, and or to provide thief with false credentials. Okay. Phishing and evil twins, which is on the exam. Phishing is a form of spoofing. It involves setting up fake websites or sending email messages that look like legitimate business to ask users for confidential personal data. The email message instructs recipients to update or confirm records by providing social security numbers, bank and credit card information, other confidential data by responding to the email, by entering information on a bogus website, or by calling a telephone number. eBay, PayPal, Amazon, Walmart, various banks are among top spoof companies. In a more targeted form of phishing called spear phishing, messages appear to be from a trusted source, such as individual within the recipient's own company or friend. Phishing techniques called evil twins and farming are harder to detect. Evil twins are wireless networks that pretend to offer trustworthy Wi-Fi connections, such as those in airport lounges, hotels, or coffee shops. The bogus network looks identical to a legitimate public network. Fraudsters try to capture passwords or credit card information of unwitting users who log onto their network. Farming redirects users to a web page. Web farming is on the exam, even when individuals type the correct web page address in his or her browser. So this is the potential perpetrators for trying to gain access to the internet address information stored by the internet service providers to speed up web browsing, and ISPs companies have flawed software on the servers that allows the fraudsters to hack it and change those addresses. So I'll stop it here. This is page 13 of 22. We're going to run out of time here. Farming was on the exam. So the next thing here we want to chat about is click fraud, cyber warfare, social engineering.